Good evening, Taylor County. We come to you this evening from Taylor County Middle School. We have Ms. Kiki Puhl with us here tonight, and we have Ms. Sabrina Lytle. We know there's a lot of questions about school next year and what that's going to look like. So we're going to take some time tonight to explain our plan. We're also going to answer some questions that have been submitted to us. One thing I want you to understand is our plan will be revolving. It will be moving as the COVID makes different increases or decreases. These plans could change. And there's still some unknowns, but we are working diligently to get the best plan together that fits our students, our staff, and our parents, and also everybody else that it affects in Taylor County. We know reopening school is a big deal, and we want to make sure we make it a priority and do the best we can. But like I said tonight, we're just going to take some time and explain some things going on. One of the first things that everybody wants to know, Ms. Puhl, I think you can talk about this for just a second, is what options are going to be available for students if a student does not feel comfortable coming back for whatever reason. Maybe there's some health reasons, we don't feel comfortable. What options are we going to give those students?
So basically, Taylor County is going to offer two options. We're going to offer the first option, which is our normal school, our brick and mortar. We're open 5 days a week. We really want to see everybody. We really want kids to get back into a stable pattern. But the second option is going to just be a mirrored reflection of what is going on in the classroom, and we're going to be calling that the tech option, which is our Taylor e-learning through Canvas. So everything that our teachers are doing in the classroom will just be a mirrored reflection for our students that have decided to take option B.
And one reason we want to really emphasize this to our community is we're going to have the brick and mortar option, and we're going to have our tech option. And we want to emphasize we really need our students and parents, we need you to take the time. We're going to talk about a survey here in just a second. And we have to know numbers. It's hard for us to get too far ahead without knowing what our numbers are going to look like next year because of scheduling and how we're just going to make sure that we're providing the resources for brick and mortar, but also for our e-learning. So we've got to get some numbers in there. But what I'm begging, I'm pleading to you as our community, as our school, we need our students back, brick and mortar, or if you want to go tech. We know our community's been through a lot, not only through COVID, but with layoffs at GP. And if we don't get our students back, we will have to look at other options, how we will cut our budget or layoffs. So just understand, we really need all our students back. We love our students, we want them back, but we're giving you options. You can do brick and mortar, or you can do e-learning. After this post tonight, after this video, there will be a link that will be up. Parents, you can go to that link, you can click on it, and there's just a simple survey that you will fill out, and you will decide which option that you think best fits you at this time so we can start planning. We're going to ask that survey be completed by next Friday. If it's not completed, the schools will start calling parents to ask what option are you looking at. I can't emphasize enough how important it is we have to get these numbers down. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, as our normal start date was scheduled for August 10th. We are now looking at pushing that back. I will tell you, I was one of the first ones that said we will not push our start date back, but we now are looking at starting school on August the 13th. That would be a Thursday that we would start. The reason we're looking at doing that is because we need to make sure that we have enough time to get everything that we need, get it together, make sure our teachers are trained. We can't move forward on some of this until we get our numbers, so that is delaying our process out. Also, with some of the items that we're purchasing, some of the different academics that we're going to be implementing, we're waiting on further up the chain for them to release some information to us. So we're kind of a little bit of a stalemate until we get our numbers, until the others above us start helping get that information down to us. Ms. Lytle, you have anything you can think to add?
No, we just want our children back, and please fill out the survey, whether you decide the tech option or the face-to-face brick and mortar option. We really want our students back.
And we will talk a little bit more about that just a little bit later, but we want to understand, and I'll ask both of y'all, both the principals, will the tech option look like the e-learning we did at the end of school last year?
Absolutely not. What we put together at the end of last year was something we had to quickly put together. But what we are looking at for this year will be almost a mirrored reflection of what is going on in the classroom. It is important that the students at home are getting the same content, the same standards, the same criteria as what our students are in the classroom. So yes, it will be a mirrored reflection, and don't assume or hope or think that it's going to be like it was at the end of last year.
And I
It'll
think-
be much more organized.
Yes, and I think that some people are assuming we'll do packets, and that's not the case. Like Ms. Puhl said, it's going to be a mirrored reflection of the classroom to try to ensure that those students that do opt for the tech option will stay along with their peers.
Talk about a little bit that, okay, I'm concerned about a health concern with some of my family, so I decide that I will not start school, say the first 3 or 4 weeks. And then I decide, okay, now I want my child to come brick and mortar 3 or 4 weeks. And then maybe, unfortunately, the state comes in and says, I hope this doesn't happen, but we're going to shut down for 2 or 3 weeks. So explain to parents why the importance of what we're doing to make that seamless transition a little bit.
The reason why we're doing the tech option and we're mirroring what's in the classroom is for those cases. So if I have a family member who's ill that we don't need to be exposed to any kind of germs, my child will still get the same academics that they would be getting. So when they opt to go back, they're going to be, it's going to be a seamless transition. They're going to just catch right up and have the same teacher, and there won't be any kind of delay.
Our tech program is you're still enrolled in our school district. It's just like you're still a student of ours. The only difference is you're at home getting your learning. Instead of coming to brick and mortar, you're at home. I mean, that's a very simple way, I think, to.
You're going to be graded the same. You're going to be required to do the same assignments. You're going to have tests. You're going to have things just like, so whatever we're doing on Monday, you're going to be doing on Monday at home.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very similar, like we said, a mirrored reflection of what's going on in the schools.
And the state is requiring us. We will have to take attendance. We have to prove progress monitoring also has to take place. So there's a lot of things that we have to document that we're doing with the student to make sure, just because they're not here with us, but we're still being held accountable for your education at your home. So I wanted to encourage you. I know there's a lot of questions about this. I hope this will clear up some questions. Please refer to the school district if you have questions or concerns. Please look to the website for the official statements. Call the schools and ask to speak with the principal or the assistant principal. We want to hear from you. We want you to call us if you have questions or concerns. We want to try to ease your mind and get you answers to that. So, anything else?
I think I just want to reiterate what Dr. Glover said. Just make sure that you're looking at the school's Facebook page, the school's website. A lot of people are putting things out there. Some of it's accurate, some of it isn't. But in order for you to get the most accurate and up-to-date information, make sure you're reading the school's Facebook page and website, because that's where you're going to get, the facts of what's going to go on next year.
Now we're going to take a little bit of break, and then we're going to come back and talk about what our daily schedule is going to look like and the safety precautions measures we have put in with COVID. Now we're going to move to phase 2 of our reopening plan. Phase 1, we talked about the academic side of the options that were going to be available for our parents. If you want to do brick and mortar, or would you like to do our tech program? Now we're going to move to the safety side. We have had a task force that has 4 meetings, and from those meetings we have some recommendations. We work with the health department, parents, staff members, and we want to share what we have came up with that we're going to look at doing next year to ensure that everyone is safe. We're also going to post this information along with this video so that you can see this information. We also have another handout. It is called our Returning to School handout. It's a simple plan that will also be posted that you can read over and look at. But some frequently asked questions that we've been hearing a lot of, and so we just want to take some time to go through these and give some answers. One thing that comes up: will masks be required? Our answer is no. We will not require students or staff to wear a mask. We will encourage you to wear a mask, but you do not have to. Parents, that is totally your decision if you want your child to wear a mask. We all know that's going to be extremely difficult with our younger children, and we will try to do everything we can, but it's going to be very tough for us to make little ones enforce wearing a mask all day. We will try to do our best, but if you want your student to wear a mask, that's totally fine. Our staff is also, we're giving them the same directions. Another one, will COVID-19 testing be required prior to start of school for staff and students? Our answer is no. We cannot require staff or students be tested before they return to school at this time. One that we've worked with the health department a lot with is what will happen if a child appears ill at school. Working with the health department and our nurses at our schools, we will have 2 areas set up. One will be more of a well side. If there's a student that has symptoms that could resemble COVID, those students will be sent to a separate area and will be evaluated in that area. We will have a safe distance, and their parents will be called to pick them up. Another question was, what do I do if my child has a fever? Our new procedures are that a child must be fever-free for at least 24 hours without medication before returning to school. Another question we've got, will my child need a doctor's note to return to school after having a fever? No. If your child has a fever, a doctor's note will not be required for them to return to school. Now, if your child has been tested positive for COVID, the health department will give us a note that releases you, that will allow you to come back. So if you just remember, if you just have a fever, 24 hours, you get to come back. If you have tested positive, you will have to bring a note back from the health department, and we have talked with them. That is something that they will talk through with you on an individual basis. Another one was, will I be notified if another student or staff member tests positive at the school? Due to laws and HIPAA laws, we cannot give you names. We will not tell you if it's and I hate to say we, the health department will not tell you if it's a teacher or a student. But if we have someone on a school site that tests positive for COVID, we will let you know that at Taylor County Middle School, we did have a individual test positive. Okay, so we can put that information out. One thing that's been asked about visitors on campus and can I volunteer? At this time, talking with the team, our decision is no one will be allowed on campus. That's for visitors, SACS committee meetings. It will only be for staff and students, and that is for the protection of our staff and students. So just wanted to let you know, as this time, no visitors, and we apologize for that. And that could change as numbers change, but as of right now, that's been the advisement that we have been given, is no visitors on campus of any kind. Something that, and we'll go into this later, but how often will my child's classroom be cleaned? Daily cleaning will occur, with deep cleansing will also take place. High touch areas will also be cleaned during the day. So we just want to rest you assured, students' classrooms and teachers' classrooms will be cleaned at a more intense rate this year. Will there be safety and well-being education taught? Absolutely. We're working with the health department, our school nurses. There will be safety precautions. We will be talking about how to keep safe during this time. Washing of hands is one of the biggest things that we are being told, is have students, have staff wash their hands. So we just want to talk about that. Now, Ms. Puhl, I think you're going to talk about transportation, serving meals, and school safety and security.
Okay, one of the questions from transportation, people concerned about the transportation of their students, will the school buses be cleaned and disinfected? And of course they will. Every day when kids get off the bus, in the morning and the afternoon, they will be disinfected. And also the bus drivers are going to assign seats. So it's important that you tell your students to please make sure they're sitting in their same seats each day. It's very difficult for bus drivers to be able to handle that, but they are definitely going to try everything possible to make that happen. The next question is about serving meals. How will our cafeteria handle things? One big concern is the students that choose to do the tech learning. Will those students be afforded lunch? Yes, they will. but those parents or guardians will have to bring those students to the school during a specific lunchtime, and that student can go and pick up their lunches in the cafeteria. Will the lunchrooms be clean? Will our cafeteria workers or any adult, how can we ensure their safety? All employee temperatures, including mostly our cafeteria and any employee that works at the school, will be daily. Their temperature will be checked daily when they sign in the morning. So yes, that will be happening. School safety and security. A question was, safety drills, things like that. Some of those things are going to have to be tweaked. Fire drill, kids, rush out of the school, they're side by side. Some of those things we're going to have to work on. How can we assure the safety during drills and other things that we're doing? How are we going to maintain those social distancing? But we will be working on that. Will our SROs be provided? Yes, we still have to follow the law and comply with the Major Stoneman Douglas Act. So yes, our SROs will be on campus. And I believe that's it.
So I'm going to cover mental and emotional wellness, and I'm going to kind of break it down. There's several questions, but I'm going to break it down into two sections. And the first is academic, and the second is social emotional. So if your child, one question is, how will my child be able to communicate with a school counselor about academic or personal concerns? At this time, we are slated to have all our school counselors back. Depending on what the topic is, you might want to email them. If you don't currently have a counselor that you can get in contact with, you can contact the school principal, the school assistant principal, or the guidance counselor, and they can get you in contact with that. Another thing is basic needs for your family. If you contact your school principal or assistant principal, they can get you in contact with the school social worker, and we have resources and services that we will be able to provide you. And then for those of you that want to know what is social and emotional learning and why is it important, it's the process through which our students learn to manage emotions, and as Dr. Glover said earlier, they've been through a lot being out of school for so long. And not only that, but we've had so many layoffs from GP, so there's a lot of social emotional things going on. So I encourage you to contact your school's administration. That would be the first point of contact, so you can get those resources and services for your student. And we want anybody that feels their student needs that or that their family needs those services to go ahead and contact us. The second portion is academics. So how will you find the help for your child if he or she struggles academically? Whenever you get your teacher, they're going to be able to provide you with some information. If your child has an IEP, they will be calling IEP team meetings, so you can request one of those. We can do those, through video chat if you don't feel comfortable coming in. And then another thing, if your child was referred for an evaluation prior to us releasing for school, those school counselors, the school psychologists will be coming back in when students do, and they'll be continuing their evaluation. And we've got lots of those coming up, so those will be continued when we come back to school.
Thank you. The next thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to keep our schools clean. One thing, a lot of questions have been playtime, play area, playgrounds. So one concern we have heard also is my student going to have to, or my child, going to have to sit in a room for 6 or 7 hours a day and not be allowed to go to the cafeteria, not be allowed to go to the playground, not to have PE? And the answer to that is no. We're going to work a way that we can make sure that our students are still going to PE. They will eat lunch or breakfast in the cafeteria. It may look different. We may have more lunch schedules. But yes, a student will be out and about. We are not expecting our children to stay inside of a classroom all day long. I don't want that for any child. I wouldn't even want that for my own child. So we want to talk about that. But play area, will the playgrounds be sanitized? Yes, the high-touch areas on the playground will be sanitized. The rails, monkey bars, we will clean those daily. Now, CDC does not recommend cleaning the entire play area, like where the wood may be, or certain areas CDC is just saying you don't clean that. But we will be spraying high-touch areas. We will be cleaning as much as we can on our playground area. So we wanted to let you know that we will be doing that. Are you doing extra cleaning in preparation of kids coming back? Yes. As part of our normal summer deep cleaning process, we are cleaning our rooms very diligently. We've been doing a lot of deep cleaning this summer. Mr. Anderson has been very proactive on ordering chemicals that will need different cleaning products to keep the rooms clean. We have ordered what we're calling foggers that we will be going in, cleaning the rooms with. We'll be fogging them to make sure they're staying clean. Each room will have a bottle of sanitizer that's there that can be used during the day if the teacher feels like they need to clean doorknobs or some of those high-touch areas. Custodian comes in, that will be available all the time. We will have hand sanitizer stations located around the school, along with hand sanitizer and soap in each classroom, and reminding our students to wash their hands as much as possible. Now, we will be asking teachers and principals at the beginning doing that, is making sure that students are not sharing items, they're staying at their designated seats, things like that, to try to keep down on the touch areas. We're going to space out students the best we can in our classrooms. It's very hard to maintain everybody with 6 foot distancing within the classroom, but we will do the best that we can with that. Another question that we have got is, and this can get a little tricky and kind of confusing. We're working with the health department, and I'll try to be as clear as we can. So what happens if a student in my child's classroom tests positive for COVID-19? What will happen? First, let me tell you, if we have a student or staff test positive in one of our schools, like we said earlier, we will notify you. Will we close the next day? No. We are going to have a cleaning crew on site that afternoon that will disinfect that entire school, so the next morning we can resume school opening back. Now, what about the individual that tested positive? That becomes a health department issue then. They will be contacting individuals that will not be allowed to come back to school, but they're saying that if your child was exposed to a test positive, you probably will be quarantined for 14 days. They will do tracing. They will help guide you on that. They will reach out to you. What I was told earlier, if you don't receive a phone call from that tracing, you will be fine. But you have Kate Brooks, who's our school health coordinator, who will be very instrumental in that, along with the health department. But I think they said you have to be within 6 foot for 15 minutes. So it could vary. That's kind of a tricky question. Now, if the teacher tests positive, again, it'll be the same thing. The teacher would go into quarantine for 14 days if they were to test positive, and then they will do the tracing on the students. If you switch classes, say one teacher had class A in the morning and class B in the afternoon, and just a student tests positive in one class, the other class should be fine. Again, that would be tracing. If we find out that the health department will give you a note that you test positive, or they have asked you to isolate for 14 days, you must isolate. They will be tracking. They will be making sure that you're not at school. And if you are, they have the authority. You can be removed from school. But that's only if you're selected. I hate to say selected, but if you're identified, and they would also give you a note stating that you can return, that your 14 days are up. And I know that's kind of difficult to explain. So both of y'all are parents. Did I kind of explain that to your satisfaction? Is there anything you want to add on that?
I just want to say this is all for the safety of our kids and our staff and parents. And we are following the guidelines put forth by the health department when we, came up with this plan, and even when we were planning for summer, for summer reading camp, we met with the health department with Kate Jenkins and or Kate Brooks, excuse me, and she's really helped out a lot, just making sure that we're following all the guidelines. So this is everything that we're putting in place is for the safety of the students and the staff. So we just want to let you know that.
Going back to the cleaning, one thing we have asked principals, we know there's going to be more cleaning, so we have asked them to submit a plan to us if they need more help. We will be getting them more help to make sure that our schools are staying clean. We have about 6 months, 6 weeks. I've asked Mr. Anderson to stock up, make sure we have about 6 weeks worth of cleaning supplies stocked up. So I know he's been in the process of that. Another one I know that's came up is water bottles and water fountains. So do one of y'all want to talk about water bottles and water fountains?
Well, on the middle school and high school level, right now, if our water fountains are adequately, if we get the proper gear, we will be
convert
able
them.
to convert them for use, then we will be using the water fountains. But until they're converted to that, we will allow our students to have water bottles. We just have to be very precautious about what is in the bottles. But it does need to be water, and they're gonna need to keep up with their own bottle because you don't want them to be sharing or spreading anything. But yes, at least 6 through 12, we had said that. It may be a little bit different at the K through 5 because they have access to fountains and such in their classrooms.
So what we're gonna do is the same thing as 6 through 12, allow them to bring the water bottles, and then we'll just be precautious when refilling them. I would encourage you to put your child's name on it. It can be a disposable bottle. You can send them a fresh bottle every day, or you can have a container that you put water in, but those will be allowed and they can be refilled in the classroom. But like I said, we're gonna be very precautious when refilling them. So that was our recommendation.
And so we're looking at converting our water fountains into the ones that you can just place a bottle under there, press the button, the water goes in the bottle. I'm sure you've seen those are different places, so that's what we're looking at. One thing, another question that may come up is the temperatures on students. And there's some information on this handout about why we're not taking temperature of students. We have been talking with some specialists from DOE, and we met with the commissioner. He met with some of the top pediatricians in the nation and some of the top research schools in the nation on COVID, and there's no data to support right now. There's more dangers in actually trying to take the time to get temperatures, getting temperatures before they get on buses. So there's some information on here about why we will not be taking temperatures of our students. But like Ms. Puhl said earlier, all staff will have their temperature taken every day before they enter into the building. One thing that Mr. Blue shared with me today, all our parents should have received their card. I'm not sure the exact name, with their
It's an EBT card.
your EBT card for your student attending school here. One thing Mr. Blue did say that if your student continues, this is news that we've just received from another county, is that if your student remains brick and mortar and they remain in our tech program, if there's another round of that, even though your student is in tech, they would still qualify. Now, if there was some other route, some other way that the student chose to get their academics delivered at home, there's a good chance they would not receive those benefits. And there also could be some effect with, I'm not 100% sure on this, with that there's also another stimulus round. I'm not sure how that would be affected. So just wanted to mention that also to make sure you're aware of that. Some parents have asked, if my child is enrolled in the tech, can they still participate in extracurricular activities? Yes, we will have more information. FHSA is working on information on extracurricular activities, but yes, they would be able to participate in that. I will say our workouts that we've been doing for football has started for, now a month or so. That has been going really well, so I appreciate the participation of the parents and the coaches working with us on that, making sure they're staying safe. And then we have had summer camp
And
going.
it's been a great kind of practice run for us for the school year, and our teachers have done amazing at practicing social distancing, and so it was just kind of a way for us to get a practice run in, and it's been going very well.
And if anything else, please know we're not trying to pressure you in any way. We're just asking you that we're going to put 2 great models, 2 great options out. And if you want your child to come back, I can speak only for myself. My 3 kids will be back in brick and mortar.
And I have 2 students in the Taylor County school system, and one will be going to the middle school and one will be in high school, and so they will both be attending brick and mortar.
Ms. Puhl, I know yours is going to be a senior.
Hallelujah.
Well, no, I don't think Miss Puhl is old enough to have a senior. That's hard to believe. Well, even William too. So I'm gonna get off of that because we're showing your age over here before I get in big trouble. But I know we love you and we miss the students. If you have any questions, please call the principal. Please reach out to us. We're here to help you. Again, if you do not feel comfortable sending your child back to brick and mortar, we totally understand. We're going to support you in our tech program that you have the best academic experience that you can. So,
And if you're trying to make that decision, don't hesitate to reach out to the principals, the guidance counselors, whoever's at the school. We're all fully aware of what the two options look like, and we can help you with that. A couple of things you need to walk away from this video is making sure you have the link that will be attached to this so you can complete the survey. That's very important for us so we can make better preparations for the school year. The questions and answers are going to be linked.
Yes, ma'am.
So everything we kind of went over today will also be linked to this video, and also the back to school letter that kind of has a general overview of everything we've talked about also. Make sure you get those three things. If you can't print them, come to the school, we'll print them for you. We'll have them ready and try to have available out there in the community.
and if you can't complete the survey online, that's totally fine. Call the school. They will either go online and do it for you, or they will do a paper pencil one for you right then. So anyway, when you need this information, you call us. We're going to get it to you.
And we just want to say that we are doing our very best. We know there's so many questions, and we're going to answer them as soon as we know. But as everybody knows, things are changing daily, and we're doing the very best we can to answer all your questions. If you have a question that we haven't answered, like Ms. Puhl and Dr. Glover said, please call us at the school. If we don't have the answer, we will try to get it for you, because of course we know we don't have all the answers. So just please know that we have an open door policy. Call us, email us, and we'll do whatever we can to help.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate you two taking the time to be here this evening. It's been a long day, and these are not easy to make. So I understand we're doing the best we can, and we will try to do more, possibly weekly, even more than that, to keep you up to date with what's going on. So again, thank y'all.
Thank you.
We hope to see our students soon. God bless.